I know I'm really late to the party, but I finally watched Stranger Things. And reading our gospel about gatekeepers and being on watch, not knowing the time or the hour, it just made me think of my week of binging. But anyway, our first reading this morning is from the prophet Isaiah, and it's in the form of a prayer. Isaiah first mentions the problem of sin in his prayer when he says, "Why do you let us wander, O Lord, from your ways, and harden our hearts so that we fear you not?" Isaiah knows that he and the Israelites are constantly turning away from the Lord and not following his commandments. And this is a huge problem. Every time that they stray from the law, something bad happens as a punishment, and they just won't learn from their mistakes. The Israelites are constantly putting themselves on the naughty list, if you will, and Isaiah attempts to help them, but they won't listen. But see, Isaiah ain't no dummy. He knows exactly what needs to happen for everyone to get it and stop sinning. Isaiah continues with his prayer. "Return for the sake of your servants, the tribes of your heritage. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down." Isaiah knows that God needs to come down to earth to save us. He doesn't exactly know how that will happen or what that would look like, but he knows that's the only solution. Fast forward about 600 years, and we have the birth of the Messiah that we begin preparing for today. Jesus is the answer to Isaiah's prayer. God did exactly what Isaiah was asking for. The heavens were torn open, and God became man. We see the heavens open every time that we celebrate the holy sacrifice of the Mass. In the Eucharistic prayer, the heavens are rent open and God comes down. When we receive Holy Communion, the heavens are rent open and God comes down. The one whose body and blood we receive today is the Lord of the house that Jesus instructed us to wait for. With his grace delivered in Holy Communion, it may be hoped that each one of us can be watchful and alert as we await the second coming of Christ. My sisters and brothers, this Advent season is a great time for us to prepare our hearts, souls, and families for the coming of Christ. Yes, liturgically we're preparing for the birth of Jesus. However, our celebrations of Jesus' birth are intimately connected to Jesus' second coming. We don't know when Jesus is coming back, and we don't know when the Lord will call any of us home. And so we need to be ready and alert. And so how do we prepare? How do we prepare our hearts, souls, and families? It's real easy. Daily prayer, Sunday Mass, and the sacrament of reconciliation. Pray every day. We need to have our alone time with the Lord. However, Advent is a great time to start praying as a family. Order an Advent wreath off Amazon or make one yourself and say a prayer together before your meal. Light your Advent wreath together. If you are already praying as a family and you want to step up your prayer game, then start praying a decade or more of the rosary each night, or at least once a week. And start with the joyful mysteries, since those have parts of the Christmas story within them. But pray every day. And also, we don't want to miss Mass on Sundays as a family. Coming to Mass together and praying with our parish family keeps all of us united and focused on God, who is love. When we receive the Eucharist, we become Him who we receive, the same God who came down from heaven that Isaiah asked for. And finally, go to confession this Advent season. We offer confession a half hour before every Sunday Mass during Advent. And we'll host our parish reconciliation service on Monday, December 11th at 7 p.m. Take advantage of this great gift from God to be healed and forgiven of those sins that are keeping us from the fullness of God's love. My sisters and brothers, this is how we remain watchful, alert, and prepare our hearts, souls, and families for Jesus. If Advent is just a time full of stress, shopping, and stuff, then what's the point? We can shop and get stuff and be stressful any time of the year. And so don't get caught up in the commercial junk that bombards us this Advent season. Focus on your relationship with God and your family. That's what gets us into heaven. That's what makes us holier. And that's what will bring us true joy, peace, and happiness. Happy Advent.